Now at 10, the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas hosts a women's health fair in Pittsburgh. Plus, the Empire Market in Joplin warms up from the cold with its 5th annual chili cook-off. And teachers in the 4 states say the low pay is forcing them to get a second job. We'll hear from some of them.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Webb City Fire Department responded to a residential structure fire last night. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Snowy. It happened just before 10 p.m. Orinoco, Joplin, and Carl Junction responded to assist Webb City Fire. The fire was declared under control at about 10:30 p.m. No one was home when the fire broke out, but 2 pets did die inside the home. Red Cross will be temporarily helping the family as they relocate. 3 Missouri men have been arrested and charged after Missouri State Highway Patrol officers found human remains in a burn pile last Tuesday night. It happened in Cedar County, Missouri. Authorities arrested Bradley Keith of El Dorado Springs, Jimmy Cole of Stockton, and Brandon Choate of Lamar. Officials say all 3 men have been charged with tampering with physical evidence and abandonment of a corpse. The identity of the deceased has not been confirmed. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another cold one for us today, but the sun helps. That makes it feel a little bit better across the region. We do have some clouds kind of skirting our northern counties, but overall, we are looking pretty good. But we are tracking a storm system out to the west, really the western third of the country. We have a few waves which are going to head toward us as we go into next week, and we'll start to see some moisture in here by Sunday night. Now, tonight's going to be fine. Very cold. We'll drop back to 13, 16 by 7. By 10 a.m. back to about 25 degrees. But we get above freezing tomorrow, which is great news. Freezing rain tomorrow night. That could cause some issues, light glaze on the roads, and then we switch back to rain by the time we head into Monday. So, of course, we're going to break all this down for you coming up here in just a little bit.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, in honor of Cervical Health Awareness Month, Pittsburgh hosted a women's health fair today. The event, organized by the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas, raised awareness for HPV and the importance of getting screened for cervical cancer. Exams were available for women between the ages of 21 and 65 years old.
We do breast cancer, we do lung cancer. No one really focuses on cervical cancer. It's a little bit more of an intimate exam, so some people are nervous and don't regularly go to their doctor. And so I actually had a patient this year that was affected by cervical cancer, and she was in her 30s. So I just came up with this idea and reached out to my planning team, and we got this scheduled.
The American Cancer Society estimates that almost 14,000 new cases of invasive cervical cancer will be diagnosed in 2024 in the U.S. Women's Health Fair also had booths sharing information about other health-related issues. Organizers say they want to expand the event to other cities in the area. To learn how often you should get tested, go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Spiva Center for the Arts today hosted a neurographic art event. Neurographic art is a type of art therapy, and it is used to relax the mind and the body. Officials say the style of art encourages the brain to create new neural pathways.
Neurographic art is more of a recent thing for me. I began pour art, and then I do abstracts. And so I kind of added the neurographica to that.
The event was open to adults from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Local artists today were able to get their hands dirty while learning to wheel throw their own ceramic projects. The Spiva Center for the Arts hosted the event as wheel thrower Stephanie Roy shared different techniques. The event began at 1 p.m. and wrapped up around 4 p.m.
I found this class on Facebook, and I've wanted to get back into pottery, and I invited my sister.
I have a dog bowl right now I'm creating.
And I just finished a coffee cup.
The class was open for people 15 years of age and older with a fee of $60 per thrower. Well, Well, Joplin hosted the 5th annual Empire Market Chili Cook-Off today. 9 chilies were competing in the event and prizes were awarded to the top 3 contestants as decided by a panel of judges. The event also had a public tasting allowing people to cast their votes as well.
I like the competition. I like to see people's how it changes them and if they really like our chili. So yeah.
I think, January people start getting cabin fever. It's a little bit chilly, and that's why we're celebrating with chili.
The organization says all proceeds will support the Newton Community Kitchen. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile also was at the market during the event, adding an extra attraction to the Empire Market activities. Coming up, President Biden announces additional student loan debt cancellations. President Biden welcomed mayors from around the country to the White House yesterday. More than 300 mayors attended the annual bipartisan event known as the U.S. Conference of Mayors Winter Meeting. They gave the chief executive an opportunity to hear their opinions on a full range of topics ranging from immigration to homelessness to crime. Biden made it clear he is a strong believer in the contributions of mayors. We are just 3 days away from Tuesday's New Hampshire Republican primary. Former President Donald Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley are sprinting across the state this weekend, while Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is setting his eyes on South Carolina. CBS's Christian Benavides reports.
We need Donald Trump.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott delivering a major endorsement to former President Donald Trump, a slight to Nikki Haley, who appointed Scott to the Senate when she was governor of South Carolina.
If you want a president who puts America first, you're going to have to vote for Donald J. Trump. That's what it is.
It's the latest sign Republicans appear to be coalescing around the former president, who delivered a resounding victory in Iowa. New York Representative Elisa Stefanik in New Hampshire Saturday.
It's up to the American people to save this country, and we will do that by electing President Trump this November.
Mr. Trump has ramped up his attacks against Haley in the lead up to Tuesday's primary. On social media, he falsely questioned Haley's eligibility to run for president and refers to her Indian ancestry, mocking her first name Nimrata, although she's used her middle name Nikki all her life. She was born in the United States.
And you look, and I've seen the commercials you've seen. And let me tell you, everything Donald Trump's put up there is a lie.
The former UN ambassador, who turns 52 Saturday, was out on the trail in New Hampshire, where she is polling a close second to Trump. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who has been polling third and in the single digits in New Hampshire, has moved on to campaign in South Carolina. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
President Joe Biden is trying to get lawmakers to approve $60 billion in aid for Ukraine. An official with knowledge of the matter says the worry is that air defense systems and artillery ammunition could get depleted. Another source says lawmakers are signaling this is likely the last Ukraine package before the election. If Biden doesn't win re-election, the next president could have a different approach to the war. President Joe Biden's administration announces more debt cancellation for thousands of student loan borrowers. President Biden approved student debt cancellation for 74,000 borrowers yesterday. That brings the total number of borrowers with canceled debt under the administration to 3.7 million. Biden says 44,000 of the borrowers approved for debt relief have at least 10 years of public service experience. A little later, Nevada and Webb City basketball today play in the 4-state Classic tournament. Brock Baldridge will have the highlights from both games in sports.
Well, of course, another cold one for us today, but at least we have the sunshine, so that makes it feel a little bit better. Now we're going to start to get out of this deep freeze as we go into the next couple days. Now tonight, everything's quiet by 11 p.m. down to 13, so it's going to be a cold night. 7 a.m. 16, back to 25 by 10 a.m. Overnight low at 13, which is still well below our average low. Average low is about 25 degrees. All right, not a whole bunch going on. We do have some clouds kind of skirting our northern counties. Besides that, we're pretty quiet, but if you look out west, the western third of the country, several waves. You can see the little spins off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. All these waves are going to head toward us. Here's the first one just west of Las Vegas. That will start to affect us tomorrow night. You can see the second one right behind it. So we are going to have those rain chances as we go through the week. Let me walk you through the rest of the weekend. All right, tonight about 13, but we rise toward dawn to about 15 or 16 degrees. Clouds increase. Mostly cloudy skies for us tomorrow, near 30 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, 37 in Nevada, so warmer. Pineville 36, 35 in Bentonville. Miami 35, Pittsburgh 35, 36 in Chanute. But it's tomorrow night. We drop back right around 30 degrees. You see this pink? This is light freezing rain mixed in with a little bit of sleet, freezing drizzle. Temperatures hovering right around 30. So these bands start to push through. So here's 9:30 p.m. So right about the end of the Chiefs game, we have light freezing drizzle and light freezing rain. So we are going to get a little bit of a glaze on the roadways. You can see another batch comes in after midnight. Here's 2 a.m. on Monday. Light freezing drizzle continues into Monday morning. But look at this. Temperatures warm and we switch over to rain. So any ice we do get on the roads, yeah, it could be a little slippery, but it will melt very quickly as we go back to rain throughout the daytime hours on Monday. So on Monday, we just have periods of rain, temperatures warm into the upper 30s. Here's what you want to know. How much ice could we get? Not a lot, maybe 1/10 of an inch. So not enough to like bring down power lines or tree limbs, but enough to put a glaze on the roadways as we go into Monday morning. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. Here's your day planner for your Sunday. 20, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 34, 36 by 3 p.m. So at least we get above freezing. And we get rain. So we have this batch of rain Monday into Tuesday. A little bit of a break. Here it comes again. Tuesday night, periods of rain into Wednesday. Here's another break, but look at this. We get more showers rolling in on Friday. So we got plenty of chances for rain as we go through about the next week. And our temperatures, they're going to warm up, which is great. All right, 38 on Sunday. Freezing rain tomorrow night, and then over to rain on Monday. High temp at 39, 46 Tuesday, 48 on Wednesday. Look at this, 50s near 60 by next Friday. Showers again by the time we head into Friday and Saturday. Elise?
All right, Doug, thanks. Well, a Missouri high school teacher fired after bearing it all on OnlyFans because she says she didn't make enough money. For many educators in Missouri and Kansas, they are working multiple jobs just so they can stay in the classroom. Sharon Chen has more.
Another Uber Eats run.
I need to confirm.
This is what Paula Ramirez does in her spare time.
This is the best kit to get.
She also sells essential oils,
A dot behind your ears.
tutors, and teaches dance. But her full-time job is teaching.
I've always wanted to be a teacher.
Unfortunately, it's a career that isn't exactly paying off.
Yes, I am struggling. I am struggling.
A struggling teacher of Spanish and math for Kansas City Public Schools.
We're not getting paid as we should.
And on top of all that, she's a mom, a single mother of 2.
It's like a vicious cycle. Yes, I can do Zumba. I can teach salsa. I can tutor to other students. But that's time away from my 2 girls.
I know how it feels to have your lights cut off. I know how it feels to have your water cut off.
Sandra Days is with the Kansas City chapter of the Teachers Union, the American Federation of Teachers. She knows all about teacher pay.
I hear the struggle all the time, and I know of the struggle.
There are 26 school districts around the Kansas City metro. A look at some of the larger districts on both sides of the state line found the average entry salary is around $40,000 a year. KCPS comes in at the top with just over $43,000. Lee Summit at the lower end with just over $40,000. Kansas districts come in higher across the board.
The average apartment in Kansas City, Missouri is $1,200.
Day says from a new teacher to one of even 5 years of experience making an average of $50,000 a year, paychecks in KC just don't go far.
Your first check goes to your rent. Your second check goes to your student loans and your utilities.
Missouri education leaders admit teacher pay is a problem.
I'm Paul Katnick. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Office of Educator Quality.
Dr. Katnick tells KCTV5 when it comes to teachers in the classroom, there's a serious shortage in Missouri.
It basically comes down to several things. One of them is pay.
Pay, which according to state law is required to be at a minimum of just $25,000 a year.
So starting pay in the state of Missouri, we have the distinction of being pretty much at the bottom.
As in second to last. 50th when compared to other states, including the District of Columbia. The average first-year teacher salary in Missouri, just over $34,000 a year. In fact, all 8 states surrounding Missouri are higher.
And so attracting teachers to the state of Missouri is a real challenge when you can't pay them like other states can.
Katnick says there is legislation to permanently boost pay with the goal of raising base pay to $60,000. But it is work in progress.
There's going to have to be, I think, successive years of continuing to work at it and trying to make it to where our teachers can do one thing, and that's teach.
All right. Until then, Paula has to put in extra hours at extra jobs.
I call myself, I'm the working poor.
Literally working to teach. A daily struggle, but all forgotten just to do what she loves.
But I will tell you this, the minute I enter my school, I forget everything because I give it all.
Coming up in sports, the Pitt State Gorillas are on the road in Topeka against Washburn. And its championship is Saturday for a handful of our local high school basketball teams. Brock Baldridge joins us for those highlights and more up next.
Well, just about all of our local high school boys and girls basketball teams all across the 4 states are in a tournament this weekend. Today is the championship day for a handful of teams looking for a shot to bring home some hardware. Nevada versus Bartlesville in the championship game of the 4-state classic. Lady Tigers hit a buzzer beater to get to this game. In the first quarter, it's Clara Swearingen who pulls up from deep, knocks down the 3 ball. And later in the quarter, it's Lucy Swearingen, drives to the rim and gets fouled. You can count that in the bucket. Then her sister Clara right back at it. Left-hand layup is good, plus the foul. Nevada trailed by 15 going to halftime. So in the second half, Lady Tigers go to Kaylee Holcomb, who hits a 3 there from the corner. But Bartlesville, well, they made all the tough baskets they had to this afternoon. As Leah Lunn gets this one off the finger roll here for 2 points. And then in the fourth quarter, it's Mika Chambers who drops in the floater for another 2 points. Bartlesville goes on to beat Nevada 48-31. However, Nevada finishes in second place in the 4-state classic. Over to Webb City and Piedmont for the boys championship game of the 4-state classic. 6th year in a row the Cardinals have made this game. First quarter, Cardinals get on the board here as Baron Duda makes the easy basket. Cardinals lead early, but Piedmont can really shoot the rock today as Connor Beard splashes this 3-point shot here from the corner. Webb City down by 1 early. Later in the half, it's Eli Pace. He's going to put this one in from mid-range here, off close to the elbow there. A few possessions later, it's Omari Jackson. Gets a nice touch off the glass here. However, Webb City trails by 12 going into the half. Early second half now. Piedmont showing off their range again as Braden Lloyd buries a 3-point shot. Cardinals just trying to hang around this game as Baron Duda gets the tough bucket in the lane here. But Piedmont doesn't slow down the scoring spree as Braden Lloyd picks up a couple more points here. Webb City falls to Piedmont 78-57. Cardinals finish as runners-up in the Frontenac tournament. Over to Southeast High School tonight, Parsons versus Riverton in the boys championship game of the Lancer Classic. We start this game off. First points of the game belongs to Riverton's Locke North as he hits this one from 3 in the corner. Later in the first, Parsons showing off their range as well as Trey Mack buries the 3-point shot. Parsons leads by 1 at this point. Then in the second quarter, it's Parsons who goes on a scoring run here. J.J. Kendrick goes from one end of the court to the other to make the layup. And then it's Kendrick underneath the basket, gets the foul and 1. And then J.J. Kendrick shoots this one from deep, splashes home the 3-point shot. He scores 8 straight points for the Vikings. Parsons led by 2 at halftime. In the second half, Locke North, the fancy Euro step there for 2 points. Then North drives in the lane, finishes the layup. And then Riverton looking to stay hot going into the third quarter. Cale Forbes open for 3, swishes that one home. Riverton goes on to beat Parsons 70-50. Rams are this year's champions of the Lancer Classic. Over to college hoops now, as the Pitt State Gorillas men's and women's basketball teams are each coming off of a loss to Emporia State on Wednesday night. The Gorillas continue their road trip as they look to bounce back against Washburn. Pitt State women's basketball faces Washburn tonight, only time that these two teams will meet each other this year. Pitt State loses this one 75-62. The Gorillas have now lost 4 of their last 5 games. Over to the men's side now, Gorillas facing the Washburn Inkabods on the road. Tight game to start as Sam Ungashik, driving and dodging the pressure, gets that bucket there to start off the game. On to the other end now, RJ Forney Jr. from the outside. Gorillas get the bucket there. They lead by 2. Next Washburn possession, Emmanuel Bird sees Jamar Johnson going up for the bucket there for the big layup. A lot of momentum out of that one. Still in the first half, Michael Keegan looking to pass, but he sees the jump shot there. That one goes through. It's now a 7-6 ball game. Later in the half, big man Braden Red gets the job done on the outside for the Gorillas. 3-point Pitt State lead, but Washburn got whatever they wanted inside the paint this afternoon. Andrew Orr with a mid-range shot there, and then Emmanuel Bird goes down low, gets another jump shot there to go. Pitt State falls to Washburn on the road, 81-74. That's a look for sports. We'll be back after this.
Buffalo Bills fans attending tomorrow's game against the Kansas City Chiefs might want to leave a blank space in their stomachs. The Bills and the team's food service partner at the stadium, Delaware North, have unveiled new specialty items for the divisional round matchup. A couple of the items are inspired by the Chiefs' most famous fan, Taylor Swift, and some of her greatest hits. They include the Bad Blood waffle fries and the Karma quesadilla.
All right, it's going to be another cold night for us tonight. We drop back to about 13 degrees, but above freezing tomorrow, which is nice. 38 for a high, down to 30 tomorrow night. That's crucial. We get some moisture in here, so light freezing rain, light drizzle, freezing drizzle, all over to rain on Monday with a high temperature of about 39. Elise?
That's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.